Hola, ¿cómo estás? Ni hao. Aloha. Bonjour. I've been saying hello, good morning for 3 years, so thought I'd change it up a little bit. This is John's sketchbook. Yesterday I read about how Jesus is the door, so I thought I'd go on to read Lazarus. I probably read it already, but it's important. John 11:1. Now a certain man was sick, Lazarus of Bethany, the town of Mary and her sister Martha. A certain man was ill, Lazarus. He was from Bethany. I don't know the population. Town of his sisters, Mary and Martha. Sorry, it's messed up there. It was that Mary who anointed the Lord with fragrant oil. So Mary anointed oil and blessed him. And anointed Jesus with oil and blessed him. Now a certain man was sick, Lazarus of Bethany, the town of Mary and her sister Martha. It was that Mary that anointed the Lord with fragrant oil. So this was hard to draw out, but hopefully you understand it. And wiped his feet with her hair. The same Mary washed Jesus' feet and wiped his feet with her hair. She loved him so much. That's what she did for him. Whose brother Lazarus was sick. The same Mary, and her brother is sick. Therefore the sisters sent to him, to Jesus, saying, Lord, behold, he whom you love is sick. So the messenger told Jesus that Lazarus is sick. Jesus loves Lazarus, but he's sick. This is the same Mary that anointed Jesus and wiped his feet with her hair, whose brother Lazarus was sick. Therefore the sisters sent to him, saying, Lord, behold, he whom you love is sick. When Jesus heard Lazarus is sick, he said, This sickness is not unto death, but for the glory of God, that the Son of God may be glorified through it. This sickness won't lead to death. This sickness won't lead to Lazarus dying, but it's for the glory of God, so that Jesus will be glorified through it. When Jesus heard that Lazarus is sick, he said, This sickness is not unto death, but for the glory of God, that the Son of God may be glorified through it. Now Jesus loved Martha and her sister and Lazarus. Jesus loved Lazarus, Martha, and her sister. So when he heard that he was sick, Jesus heard Lazarus is sick. So when he heard that he was sick, he stayed 2 more days in the place where he was, or tarried. He waited. Jesus stayed for 2 more days before going to Lazarus. Then after this, he said to the disciples, Let's go back to Judea again. Jesus and his disciples. Let us go back to Judea. Let's read that again. Now Jesus loved Martha and her sister and Lazarus. So when he heard that he was sick, he stayed 2 more days in the place where he was. Then after this, he said to the disciples, Let's go back to Judea again. The disciples said to him, Rabbi, lately the Jews sought to stone you, and you are going there again? The disciples told him, You want to go back there? They wanted to stone you there. Jesus answered, Are there not 12 hours in the day? Aren't there 12 hours in the day? If anyone walks in the day, he does not stumble. He doesn't fall down, because he sees the light of the world. Here's the light of the world. The disciples said to him, Rabbi, lately the Jews sought to stone you, and you are going there again? Jesus answered, "Are there not 12 hours in the day? If anyone walks in the day, he does not stumble, because he sees the light of the world. But if anyone walks in the night, he stumbles, because the light is not in him. He falls, because there's no light in him," or her, I put her. "These things he said, and after that he said to them," Jesus said, "Our friend Lazarus sleeps." Lazarus is asleep. "But I go that I may wake him up." Lazarus awakens. Let's read that again. "But if one walks in the night, he stumbles, because the light is not in him." These things he said, and after that he said to them, "Our friend Lazarus sleeps, but I go that I may wake him up." "Lazarus, wake up," said Jesus. Then his disciples said, "Lord, if he sleeps, he will get well." "If Lazarus sleeps, he will recover," the disciples said. "He will get better." "I feel great," says Lazarus. However, Jesus spoke of his death, but they thought that he was speaking about taking rest and sleep. Jesus spoke about Lazarus dying, but the disciples thought he's speaking about Lazarus sleeping. Then Jesus spoke to them plainly, directly. "Lazarus is dead." Such finality, such a final thing. "Lazarus is dead," Jesus told the disciples. Let's read that again. Then his disciples said, "Lord, if he sleeps, he will get well." However, Jesus spoke of his death, but they thought he was speaking about taking rest and sleep. Then Jesus spoke to them plainly, "Lazarus is dead. And I am glad for your sakes that I was not there, that you may believe." Jesus wasn't there, not there with Lazarus, so the disciples will have faith and believe. "Nevertheless, let us go to him." Let's go. Jesus and the disciples. Let's go see Lazarus. Let's read it again. "And I am glad for your sakes that I was not there, that you may believe. Nevertheless, let us go to him." Then Thomas, who is called the twin, Thomas and twin siblings, twins are born at the same time. Maybe a few minutes difference. They're in the uterus together. Thomas said to his fellow disciples, "Let us also go, that we may die with him." The disciples will die with Jesus. I don't know why Thomas said that. We're going to die with Jesus. So I'm going to go ahead and stop there. I'll finish this one last time. "So when Jesus came, he found he had already been in the tomb 4 days. So there's Lazarus wrapped up in his tomb. What's going to happen to him? It's been 4 days. And Thomas, who is called the twin, said to his fellow disciples, "Let us also go, that we may die with him." So when Jesus came, he found that he had already been in the tomb 4 days.